You are now tuned into the Team Lonely Child Boxing Podcast.
Welcome to Team Lonely Child Boxing, keeping it real boxing, everything boxing. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful, wonderful time, man. And we get ready to dive into some of these hot topics, some of the things that's going on in the boxing world. As we get ready to dive in. Let's go. For starters, we're gonna talk about the fight over the weekend. Andy Ruiz made his return. There was a lot of boxing this weekend. Joseph Parker versus Dirk Sashoya. We saw the Katie Taylor versus it'll come to me, but Jonas. It was Katie Taylor versus Jonas. Those were the main attractions. And Chris Eubanks made his return also on the DAZN card. And then later on that night we had Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola. They got it on for a few rounds out there where they went the distance. So we're gonna start with that one first because that's the one that that was like the main fight of the weekend. I mean, Katie Taylor continued her winning ways, continued and dominated, and she is now, still undisputed in her weight class, and many want to know what's next for her and where should she go next. And I think we all want to see Amanda Serrano, her versus Amanda Serrano, or somebody of that status is the only thing that makes sense to the boxing world, or Jessica McCaskill. Because she's coming off two big victories over Cecilia Brækhus, so why not? So it's either Serrano or Jessica McCaskill, and I think we'll settle for those. We'll settle for those fights for her, and then we can move forward with that. We like Joseph Parker and Dirk Sashoya. For those that didn't get to see it, you can always go back on DAZN and look at the re-airs on the page. And many people got mixed emotions about that fight. Many people feel Dirk Sashoya won the fight, but the cards went in the favor to Joseph Parker. Could be, the popularity, could be, they see more of a ceiling with him, but more people thought Dirk Sashoya won the fight than Joseph Parker, but it did go in Parker's favor. Which leads us to the fight with Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola. Now, for those that saw the fight, I mean, you got some people that screaming Andy got exposed. You got some people, because Andy, ever since he beat Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz got a whole lot of haters now. A whole lot of people are not queuing up to cheer for him now because they didn't like the fact that he was able to knock off Anthony Joshua, but he did. The fight came on early. Nice shot from Chris Arreola. Goose, his training camp. Goose did a real good job of getting Andy Ruiz ready for the fight. He caught Andy Ruiz quite a few times and rocked him quite a few times, but he was able to put him down. He almost put him down a second time, but Andy was able to weather the storm and find a way to outwork outwork Chris Arreola and get a decision. You know, it was the right winner. Some of the scorecards, as Chris Arreola, you know, emphatically mentioned, some of the scorecards was a little off, a little over the top. You know, definitely was a lot closer than that. I mean, I think you probably could have gave him probably. I think Arreola won at least 4 or 5 rounds. You know, you can make it 7-5, Andy, something like that. But I mean, definitely the right winner, wrong scorecards, but definitely Chris Arreola did better than many anticipated. Many people didn't think this fight was going to be competitive. Many people didn't think this fight should have been what it was. But that's why you watch the fight. That's why you watch the fights. Listen, you never know. You never know. See, because sometimes you got to challenge what boxing fans really want. Do you want the biggest names in fights or do you want the best fights? Because sometimes the best names don't make the best fights. And sometimes the not so good names make the better fights. So this was one of those occasions. The fight turned out to be a lot better than many of us thought. The fight turned out to be a lot tougher than many of us thought. And I think what we want to do now is nobody wants to see the rematch. I'm sorry. Y'all not gonna sell it, you know. Even though it was a good fight, but the fans don't. The fans want to see progression. The fans want to see Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder. The fans want to see Andy Ruiz versus or Luis Ortiz or somebody of that nature. So you know that moving forward, that's what needs to happen. But again, you know, Andy wasn't his best performance. Got the job done, but definitely left a lot to be desired and a lot for people to see. Hey man, what's going on with him? You know what I mean? So we'll continue to monitor what happened with them. But again, like I said, man, it definitely didn't go according to script. You know, it definitely didn't go according to script for Andy. A lot of people thought that the fight was going to be an easy night and he would dominate Chris Arreola, get him out of there. You know, get him out of there in an easy fashion, but that was not the case in this particular fight. So, you know, definitely was a lot tougher for Andy to get through it or not. Now moving forward, you know, a lot of people are wondering what really happened between, you know, the negotiation between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. It looked like it was a serious breakdown. Looked like it was a rift between Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. They weren't on the same page. They supposed to be getting investors from Saudi Arabia. The people from Saudi Arabia decided that they didn't know, it was worth the investment because they didn't know the specifics on the pandemic and this and that. So what it all boiled down to is this: it wasn't enough money in the fight for them to go forward. Not the money that they were looking for, not the money that they wanted for the particular fight. So this is why the fight didn't happen. The bottom line, and then it's a whole lot of undercurrents, a whole lot of understories that's going on. But bottom line is this: yet again, in the sport of boxing, we are left to look at a bunch of keep busy fights. We're left to sit around and wonder, you know, when are we going to get the next big fight? When are the next? Because if you look at it though, throughout the course of this year in the sport of boxing, none of the fights that we really want, we're getting. None of the stuff that we want, we're getting. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna get like, you know, Canelo is fighting Billy Joe Sanders this weekend. Now, yes, this is a fight that we all gonna watch because it's Canelo, and he's in there with an actual, you know, willing and able and a tough opponent in Billy Joe Sanders. But this wasn't one of the fights we asked for this year. We'll settle for it, but it's not one of the fights we asked for. You know what I mean? Even though Billy Joe Billy Joe has the capabilities of making it a real interesting night. Billy Joe can make it a really tough fight. You know, it's not no walk in the park. It's not no easy fight. It's definitely a fight worth watching, but it's not the fight that we asked for. So that's what's been going on. All of the fights that we asked for, all of the fights that we was hoping to get, all the fights that we thought we would, you know, get everybody in the house to, you know, cause a fuss about boxing are not happening. And, you know, yet again, this is another case. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is not happening, and we don't know where it goes from here. You know, like it looks like they're talking about AJ's backup plan is to fight Alexander Usyk, and are we going to get Fury Wilder 3? You know what I mean? Because we now see Wilder back in the gym. He's working with Malik Scott. You know, look like he's trying to get a few new wrinkles in his game that could, you know, help him do better in his future fights. So let's take a look to see what happens with that. But at this moment right now, we don't know where anything lags right now. Because right now you got Now we got the heavyweight division, we got the 147-pound division, we got the 135-pound division where we don't know what's going on. We just got to wait for an announcement to see who's going to fight who. But yet, it's May. It's May. It is May, and we still don't, in none of the key divisions, none of the big money areas, none of the big money fights. It's May, and we still don't have no mega fight sign or no major fight sign or no fight that we're all going to fry the chicken, get everybody in the house to see. And none of these fights are ready to go just yet. So I think boxing just got to get it together. You can't complain about the Jake Pauls and the Logan Pauls and the YouTubers if this is what's going on. You can't keep complaining about that if we're not getting what the fights that we want to see are not happening. Don't get mad at Triller for making celebrity boxing hot because right now real boxing is soft. Real boxing is not hot. You know what I mean? Like it's May. It is May, and there's no major fight sign in the heavyweight division. We're waiting to see what they're going to do next because the mega fight that could happen is now gone. So now we got to wait to see if Fury's going to fight. It could be Fury Wilder 3. That could be a big fight. That's a fight I think now that with all the allegations about the hand wraps, with all the allegations about the cheating, with all the allegations and all the things that went on, now I think a lot more people be interested in the Fury Wilder 3 now. You know what I mean? So that fight, it could be something that'll draw everybody's interest and get everybody dialed in. And then Alexander Usyk versus AJ, I know that they can turn that into a big fight, but they got to get stuff signed and get stuff ready to go because right now we just got fighters just sitting around, fighters just running around. Maybe they need to go start their own YouTube channel and get hot and do something because right now the promoters just can't get it together. You know what I mean? The fight should still happen. You got everybody up in arms about a Joshua Fury fight. The fight should still happen. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be because you need these investors. Just make the fight happen. I think the fans will turn out. We will all fry the chicken and we'll all watch that fight. Same thing with the 147-pound division. We're 10 fighters deep. We're 10 fighters deep over there, and it's May, and we still don't have a major fight sign. Speaking of May, the Money Man is back. The Money Man is back. Money May versus Logan Paul is a real thing. But I know most of us over here in the DMV we are very excited to and see that we got two of the DMV's own on this fight card. Jared Hearn is on that fight card, and then the young Jaleel Hackett. Shout out to Jaleel Hackett. Shout out to Bernard Hackett and the guys out there that they're going to be out there on the Money May fight card, which is big for him and big for him. Shout out to them. Wish them all the best of luck. You know what I mean? So it seemed like other than, of course, the fight that everybody's complaining about, Floyd versus Logan Paul, other than that, it's pretty decent card. You know what I mean? Badu Jack's on there. Badu Jack was on the first. Badu Jack fought on the Roy Jones Mike Tyson card, and a lot of people missed that because out of that whole entire card, of course you have Roy and Mike, which was everybody was waiting for, but out of that whole entire card, Badu Jack had the performance of the night, not the knockout of the night, because Badu Jack actually fought a real fighter that night. Badu Jack fought Blake McCracken, who's a tough, hard hitter. I just knew that Badu Jack was going to go out the same way Nate Robinson did, but he put on a beautiful performance and really boxed beautifully, used his jab, footwork, and all that. The nice performance by Badu Jack that didn't even get mentioned because we were so, enamored by the Jake Paul knockout of Nate Robinson. And then, of course, we was all want to see our two of our biggest stars get back in the ring and do what they do. So that's what went down that night. But see, that's another thing that I see by everybody complaining. Y'all got to look at it. It's been real fighters on these YouTube cards, but at the same time, the YouTube fighters are still getting the most looks right now. Like at the UFC fight, even though the headline that everybody put out is false. Tom Brady did not go up to Jake Paul. He went up to Antonio Brown, who was with Jake Paul. But at the same time, it still wasn't a bad look for Jake to see, for everybody to crowd and look up on the big teleprompter and see Jake Paul in between Antonio Brown and the GOAT, Tom Brady. So no matter how you look at it, everything he do, even on accident right now, they lit. The Paul boys are lit. You know what I mean? it is what it is. I mean, if right now it's the month of May, it's the month of May, and we don't have a major fight in the sport of boxing. So you can't turn around and get mad and say we don't want to see these sideshow fights and we don't want Jake Paul to do what he do and he shouldn't. But y'all are empowering them by not getting these fights made. You're empowering them by these fights not getting made. So now Floyd Mayweather is swooped in and about to take all the attention that y'all worked so hard for to get back going throughout everything. You went through the pandemic, you went through all that, but now Floyd Mayweather now is going to swoop in and steal a whole spot out of boxing with one of the YouTubers. Hey, man, go figure. Y'all got to get it together. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all fighters need PR reps. Some of y'all need to just get away from the promotional companies y'all with, go independent, do something, sign with Triller. But something got to change because, like I said, it's the month of May. And we got so many hot divisions with nothing going on. Like what's going on in 135? It's in total disarray. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Teofimo's fighting the Keep Busy fight. Tank is fighting a 140 pounder. Tank is fighting a 140 pounder. What's up, Black Star Sports? What's up, my man? Salid, man, how y'all doing today, man? Chopping it up on a few topics today, man. But me, myself, man, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little concerned at the fact that, I mean, listen, I don't think it was cool or right that they was trying to put together that Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight, but I still wanted it to happen because we need fights. We need it to happen. I mean, I get it. Deontay had a signed contract. They were supposed to get a third fight with Fury, and they was going to, renege on that and go. I get that part. But at the same time, the fight needed. The fight was necessary. You know what I mean? A Joshua Fury fight would have been big for the fans to see. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying as long as he has good fighters on, it's good. Yeah. I mean, the Floyd card's that's not a bad card at all. We got the rematch from Badu Jack and Pascal. You got Jared Hearn on the card. You got Jaleel Hackett making his daily debut. Shout out Jaleel Hackett. Shout out to Bernard, who's also part of the Boxing and DC group. But yeah, man, it's definitely good. It's not bad. You know what I mean? Because what he's really doing is this: he's giving fighters who a platform. So I mean, even though we complaining about the main event, Paul versus Floyd, some fighters are going to get some nice exposure. You know what I mean? Especially, I'm happy for Jared Hearn. I'm definitely happy for Jaleel. You know what I mean? These are good guys. Joshua avoiding Wilder? I don't think so, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't think so. I don't think Joshua avoiding Wilder. I think Joshua is just following Eddie's lead. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put this out there now. Some of this stuff I put out there, I want y'all to remember that. I want y'all to remember this. I would not be surprised if you see Anthony Joshua leave the zone or matchroom, when his contract is up. I would not be surprised if he moves on at all. You know what I mean? I would not be surprised if he moved on because Eddie's been kind of doing some interesting things. AB was supposed to fight on the card as well. Now, if he does that, bruh, I haven't heard that yet, but if AB is on that fight card, that would make that fight card lit. That it's lit. You know what I mean? And especially if they give AB a legit fight, that'd be lit. You know what I mean? That would definitely be enough to keep everybody interested for the whole night. So if that happens, that'd be big. That'd be big though. Triller PBC collaboration, man. So like I said, back to the Joshua thing. I don't think he's avoiding Wilder. I did think that at one point in time, but I don't think. I don't think I've heard AJ may go with Mayweather. I think Floyd is definitely up to something. Floyd is definitely up to something with AJ. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell y'all something else that a lot of people didn't catch. See, a lot of people didn't catch this. See, when the George Floyd situation happened, AJ spoke out at a couple Black Lives Matter rallies, and they didn't take it too well over there. They didn't take that too well over there. They didn't really received that well. So he caught a lot of flack from the fans over there when he spoke out at that Black Lives Matter rally. So I mean, definitely, it's something to that. So like I said, off that and the way Eddie's been moving with him, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Eddie Hearn and AJ part ways at the end of his contract. I would not be surprised at all. I would not be surprised at all. I think that would definitely be something to pay attention to because, quite frankly, let's go back. The Wilder fight should have happened. The Wilder fight should have happened. They really messed up the money, and since this Fury fight didn't happen, now you see they really messed up the money. They really messed up the money on this one. You know what I mean? Forget all the who duck who. One of these days, I'm gonna break down the real story on all of that went on because it wasn't no whole bunch of ducking going on. That fight could have been easily made. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn totally slaughtered the negotiations of that Wilder fight between him and AJ. No getting around it. I know the UK fans and all of you YouTubers that follow them over there, they all gonna, if they was to see this video, they're gonna, oh my God, Eddie Hearn's the best thing in boxing. Eddie Hearn wouldn't dare mess it. Eddie Hearn messed that negotiation up all the way, messed it up. So, you know what I mean? So, and that would be big if he signed with Floyd, because that way him and Joshua, him and Wilder can fight for a boatload of money. You know what I mean? I like the move. I like what I see from. I like what I've seen from Wilder in this training camp, but I mean we got to see more than just a few clips. I need to see you consistently doing some of the things that I've seen him doing in that video, and he may actually be able to get Fury out of here during the third fight. But in other news, speaking of Tyson Fury has been on quite a tirade when it comes to Eddie Hearn. He has let it be known and publicly that he does not have any love for Eddie Hearn. He despises Eddie Hearn. He thinks Eddie Hearn is despicable. He think that it's kind of crazy that he feels that Eddie Hearn is promoting Canelo more than he is Billy Joe, and he's not really Canelo's promoter. He is Billy Joe. But let's be honest. Come on, Tyson Fury. Canelo's the face of boxing. You know what I mean? Canelo's the face of boxing. So I mean, that kind of come with the territory. I know you figure he should be more on Billy Joe's side, but Canelo is the face of boxing, and he got to do what he got to do to sell the fight to make people want to watch it. It's up to Billy Joe to come to Boogie and upset the apple cart and make all the things change. But I understand where Tyson Fury is coming, but and might want to fall back with some of the things he's saying because he's going to end up in a race war with some of the stuff he's saying. He's not trying to be malicious, but it just don't sound right with some of the stuff he's saying about Canelo and Eddie Hearn. Speaking of Canelo also voiced his opinion about Oscar De La Hoya and some of the situations that went on when that split, you know what I mean? And he told the story, He said basically, for all you PBC haters, he clearly said he would have went to PBC, but he was being loyal to Oscar. He was sticking with his original advisor because he thought Oscar was the way to go. He was just being loyal to Oscar. He really wanted to go with Richard Schaefer and go over there with PBC. He was willing to do that and he wanted to do that. He did not leave to go with Oscar for any other reason as anybody trying to make it look like he wanted to leave PBC, didn't want to be around Al. He totally dispelled all of that as false. All of that is false. He said he strictly was being loyal. He was strictly being loyal to Oscar De La Hoya, which he didn't see that, with the zone deal and Oscar wasn't handling them right, which is the reason why he decided to get out of his contract and go independent. You know what I mean? But it wasn't, but the thing that I thought a lot of people needed to see was that he clearly said he had no issues with Al, Floyd, and anybody at PBC, and he clearly said he would go over there with them. You know what I mean? So it might still happen. It might still happen if if Eddie can't deliver something major after this Billy Joe Sanders fight. You know what I mean? So be on the lookout, man. You Triller, PBC might be overloaded in the next few months, man. Because like I said, I would not be surprised if AJ left Matchroom, and who knows where Canelo might go. It would not be a shocker now that he said that you see Canelo Alvarez, doing some PBC fights. So the Chalo, get ready. speaking of Chalos, not Jamal Chalo, Jamel Chalo. I'm gonna say this till people remember. It's time for all those boxing fans and all those who got shows and all that. Give Jamel Chalo his roses. Give Jamel Chalo his roses, because anybody that has came to 154, near 154, around 54, whoever they said was that, he said, let's do it. Let's do it. He's the only one that back in the day when it was Boo Boo Andre was supposed to be the boogeyman, he signed it. Jamel Chalo signed the paperwork and was ready to fight Boo Boo Andre. I was debating with a Boo Boo Andre fan the other day. I'm beginning to think that maybe Boo Boo ducked Jamel. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason Boo Boo didn't fight Jamel. I mean, they said it was money. That's fine, but the contract was signed. The contract was signed. It'd be one thing you say, I turned down the fight because the money wasn't right. That's why I didn't sign the contract. But you signed the contract. So I'm saying you signed the contract and then you didn't go through with the fight. That's a different conversation. We gave him a pass because of everything else, but when we revisit everything, and you see him still running around and not be able to get a major fight, and you see what Jamel is doing at 154. Like I said, whoever was at 154, whoever was there with a title, except his brother, he was willing to do it. When Hearn was the man, he said, let's do it. The guy that's coming up now, Castellanos, that everybody said is the guy, he said, let's do it. When Banana knocked out J-Rock, he said, let's do it. It's time to get Jamel Chalo's roses. And Jamel Chalo should be ranked on the pound-for-pound list. He's trying to be undisputed at 154. Get that man his roses. You know what I mean? He's doing what we want people to do. So out of all of the fights that we're missing, we still got a couple major fights coming up, which is one of them with Jamel Chalo. He got the fight coming up, and then we got the Ramirez versus Josh Taylor fight. Those are a few caveats that we got going on that could bring everything back in, man. You know, those two big fights that we all can tap in. And unfortunately, yes, it's not going to be the fight you want. But Earl Spence versus Ugas. Hey, that's what we probably going to end up with. Spence versus Ugas. You know what I mean? Spence versus Ugas. And we got to see what's going to happen with Terrence Crawford. We got to see what's going to happen with Keith Thurman. How about the B? I think he should be. No arguments here. Jamel, but you notice the funny thing about it is this. We got all these boxing shows out there, and I'm not dissing nobody's show. I'm not going against nobody's show. I listen to all y'all, and I not critique your show, but I just, I take tips, and then, I look at everybody's show, because, sometimes somebody may say something I never heard of. You might drop a nugget that I don't know. But for all y'all that bash Jamel and bash them boys, where are they roses? Where are they roses? You know what I mean? Where are they roses at? When they do, the Fox need to put out their schedule soon. They waiting too long. I don't know what they're waiting for. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think it's more of a Fox thing than it is necessarily PBC. You know what I mean? I think Fox is, I'm not going to lie. See, people trying to make it look like PBC out of money, and they think Fox going to drop them. I think right now it's a rift. It may be a rift going on between Fox and Al and them. You know what I mean? And it could be the way it could be, Al just don't like the way they promoting his fights or something like that. It could be something like that going on. But the schedule is made, according to Earl Spence, whatever he got going on with Fox is something. He's already signed whatever it is supposed he has signed. He won't let out what it is he signed. So I'm thinking it's the Ugas fight. But he definitely let on a few weeks ago that whatever portion of what's going on with the Fox schedule, he's agreed to. So I'm thinking that it's the Ugas fight. I plan to see Jamal Chalo, but waiting on the Earl fight. Jamal or Jamel? Because right now, I didn't want to bring it up. But Jamal, we respect you, we love you, but brother, you got to do something. Because the fans ain't going for it. You got to fight Boo Boo. I just think that's your only alternative. Fight Boo Boo, fight Benavidez, Jaime Munguia, somebody. that we think that can put up a valid fight against you. You have to do it. You have to do it. You know what I mean? You have to do it now. Whatever offer they put on the table, whether it's a cool or bad, you got to do it because right now it just don't look right. It just don't look right. I'm not saying you're ducking nobody. I'm not saying it just don't look right. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Don't look right. These fights gotta happen. You versus Benavidez will be beautiful because I think it put either one of y'all right in line with Canelo, right then and there. Fight Caleb Plant. Somebody. You got to do it, Jamal, because Jamel is definitely setting the bar. You know what I mean? You can't call him Little Charlo no more. You know what I mean? He's Big Charlo now. Jamel Charlo is Big Charlo now. You know what I mean? Like I said, whomever came anywhere near him. That's why I thought Danny Garcia saying he's the biggest star at 154 already. He might be crazy. He turned down a 2-fight deal that was offered to fight tomorrow. That don't shock me. Triple G. See, here's the thing with Triple G. See, people always talk about everybody else's business structure and how they're running their promotional company. But Matchroom and DAZN pays this man $15 million to fight, no matter who he fights. So his last fight was against a fighter we didn't even know who it was. We didn't even know who that guy was. And then before that was some dude named Steve Rose, you know. And then in between there, he fought Dermachenko. They didn't know Dermachenko was going to make the fight that difficult. They didn't know and many of us thought Dermachenko won that fight. But again, he's getting $15 million for those fights. He's getting $15 million to fight. So he's sitting there like, okay, who do I got to fight? Who do I need to fight? You know what I mean? Because regardless of how you look, I'm getting twice as much. Because think about this. They offered Charlo $7 million to fight Boo Boo. And Triple G's getting $15 million to fight nobody. So that's one issue right there. See what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I mean? I think Triple G's are gonna sit there and just literally walk away, fight a bunch of no-namers, and just walk away. They're talking about him maybe fighting Chris Eubanks. You know what I mean? Because Chris Eubanks had a fight with Roy. You know, Roy trained him for his fight over the weekend with on the Shashora Parker undercard. So you know, Eubanks fought on that card. So I don't know. All I know is this: it's the month of May. And other than those 1, 2, 3 caveats, we don't have nothing that we're like, we gotta have this. Yes, we got it. You know what I mean? Even though I'm happy for the Josh Taylor Ramirez fight, we'll settle for Canelo versus Billy Joe, even though that ain't the fight we asked for. We'll settle for that. But we need it to happen. Yeah, we seen that, but that's the end of the year. It's May. Appreciate the love, bro. We gotta chop it up, man. After I get off this live, man, let's chop it up, bro. Let's chop it up. You know what I mean? Let's chop it up, man. I appreciate the love. Appreciate you checking us out. Appreciate you coming through. You know what I mean? And for those that, you know, some of my, you know, Boxing the DC group, my loyal people, you know that I do got more interviews coming up. I had to take a little health step back, you know what I mean? You know, I had like today I had to go to the dentist again today. I had to take care of a few things to get myself back together. I didn't want to risk you know, setting up an interview and then not being able to make it because I'm still at the dentist or something. So, you know, that's what's going on. But we got some more interviews coming up. The Russell brothers. Yeah, I'm in the DMV. We're in the DMV. Definitely. We're in the DMV, bro. You from the DMV too? Or what area you from? You know what I mean? You know, because I definitely make sure that we support everything you got going on as well. That's what we do. You support us, we definitely support you back. Even if you don't support us, we'll still support you. You know what I mean? Like, what's hot though, man? Let's keep it hot. What's hot and heavy? What's on y'all mind, man, as we talk about what's going on in boxing, man? Like right now, listen, man. Woo! These YouTubers are going to take over. These YouTubers are going to be a problem. They're going to, the more and more y'all let them get these platforms, which is nothing you can do about it, but the more and more you let them get these platforms, the bigger they're getting. The Jake Paul situation is crazy. So right now, Right now, so I am right now. I was born, but I live in Houston. Okay, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, it's lit down there. You down there with you down there in it, baby. You down there, it's lit down there. You know what I'm saying? It's lit down there, man. Houston lit. You know what I mean? So we definitely, plan on paying taking a trip down there. As things open up a lot more, that's definitely one of our field trip spots. Houston, Tampa, we coming. You know, New York, we coming. We coming out there. You know what I mean? Make no mistake about it. You know what I mean? So we definitely coming down there to check out Houston, and we definitely gonna be coming to Tampa. We definitely New York. Those are hot spots. We coming. Atlanta, we coming. Tony Max, we coming. But that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, these guys, look, this man went into an MMA fight, and the whole arena started screaming, bump Jake Paul, this thing Jake Paul, blah, 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 in the middle of an MMA fight, a pay-per-view event at that. You know what I mean? And came in the door with Antonio Brown. Tom Brady's in the building. Tom Brady gets up and goes over there to them. Now listen, he didn't go to see Jake Paul. I'm not saying that. But the fact that Jake Paul was with somebody that Tom Brady went to go see, which is his teammate, that's fine. But the way it looks on the camera, you look up on the big screen and all you see is Tom Brady, AB, and Jake Paul. That's a heck of a pick. I don't care what nobody say. Jake Paul, they lit. I'm sorry, they lit. I don't like it, but it's the facts. Y'all gotta do something about it. That Bama got 20 million followers. So does his brother. You know what I mean? They got 20 million followers. Somebody like them. They hot. And y'all doing this, and boxing doing what it's doing, y'all not gonna make them hotter. You know what I mean? It's gonna be sad when it's gonna be a big time fighter that the only way for him to get some notoriety is to fight on the undercard of a YouTuber. You know what I mean? Get it together, boxing. Eddie, Hearn, Eddie, Al, Bob, all y'all behind closed doors, find a way. Go in the room, yell and scream at each other till y'all get sick of it, and then all of a sudden say, "All right, now we're gonna go out and make all the fights that we need to make." Stop this foolishness, because it's pettiness. We're not getting the fights we want because of political agendas. It's not because of nothing else. So everybody on your pages that's ranting and raving about this one scared of fighters fight. Nobody's scared of anybody. Fighters fight, promoters promote. But the situation is this: certain fighters, when you go through the proper steps of making a fight possible, you want your proper pay. See what I'm saying? You want your proper pay. So I don't blame Jamal Charlo for turning down $7 million to fight Boo Boo Andre. Give him the 15. Give him the 15 million that you want. If you could pay $15 million for Triple G to fight, we don't even know who he is. His last opponent, we don't even know who he is. We had to Google him. That's what I'm saying. Triple G's last opponent, we had to Google him to find out who he was. See what I'm saying? When those of us who watch boxing 24/7, look for everything boxing, if we got to Google your opponent, that's as bad as it gets. We had to Google him. We had to Google him. You know what I'm saying? I think one guy Googled him and a ballet dancer came up. I don't know. You wanted to do. But then you're going to turn around and pay him twice as many to fight this guy, and then you want these two to fight a middleweight unification bout, a unified title fight for $7 million apiece. That's absurd. It's absurd. Pay them, and the fight happens. You know what I'm saying? Pay them. You know what I'm saying? And the fight happens. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Pay them, and the fight happens. It's that simple. It's time for that to happen. Like Bob Earl. You want Earl and Terrence Crawford? Pay him. Pay him. And the fight happens. I mean, if I looked up and it said, okay, Bob Earl offers Earl Spence $20 to $40 million and he turns it down. Then we'll come back and say, okay, all right, you lunching, you ducking. Now you ducking. But you're offering former world champions, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, $1 million. $1 million. And for those that saw that they're now making Virgil Ortiz a mandatory for another mandatory. So he's the second mandatory for Terrence Crawford now. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. Do not get your hopes up. because it's clear that now it's clear it's a clear rift between Bob Arum and the Zone. So don't get your hopes up thinking that because Virgil Ortiz is he's the new hotness and now it's a possibility that the fight could happen. It's not gonna happen. Mm-mm. Bud needs to fight Sean Porter. Stop. Fight Sean Porter. Let Earl fight Ugas. Let's get these fights signed. Prayerfully, we can get these boys in the ring by July. Hopefully, we can get the two of them, Bud and Earl, in the ring towards the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. But we got to get the ball rolling. Get these boys in the ring. In the meantime, come June 5th, Floyd is took. Look at this, y'all. I want y'all to think about this. First, it went from Manny Pacquiao was going to fight Terrence Bud Crawford on June 5th, right? That's what they say. That was out there. Then there was another fight that I think the Zone was trying to book for June 5th. Now, the circus is coming to town, which it ain't a circus no more because Floyd done righted the ship by putting together a nice card. See what I'm saying? So it's no longer a circus. It's an actual fight card headlined by the biggest money-making generator in the history of the sport. They done took your date. They took your date. Terrence, get out of that contract, bro. You look crazy over there. I love Terrence Crawford. I'm not a Terrence Crawford hater. I'm not one of those. See, listen, for a lot of y'all boxing fans, you don't got to pick a side. WBO lets the champ choose his opponent, then the mandatory. So if he chooses Cito Lopez, then they will name him the mandatory. See, or here's the thing. That's true. Or Sean Porter could say, boom, I'm going to exercise my right to be his mandatory and give them and put them on the clock to make the fight happen. Now, Sean Porter, because he's bros, he's mad, but because he's bros with Terrence, he didn't do that. But that's something that he's gonna have to do. You know what I'm saying? That's something he got to do because we gotta get the ball rolling, man. We gotta get the ball rolling. It's May. It's May. And 147 is in disarray. A division with 10 fighters deep. It is 10 fighters deep at 147. We should see smoke everywhere. We should be just running around seeing if it's a fire. Smoke should be everywhere. 10 fighters deep. 135 is in shambles. I mean, 135 is in shambles for crying out loud. Ryan Garcia, he just flew the coop. Say we don't know when he coming back. You know what I mean? The best fight out of this whole thing, because is Devin Haney and Linares. Devin Haney and Linares. Now, how do we go from the beginning of the year talk about the future four kings being like Duran, Leonard, Hearn, Hagler? The future, this go around, this being this generation's four kings, and none of them fighting each other in 2021. None of them. None of them. And let me tell y'all something. I pray that for anybody with if he do got mental issues or something going on, if that's the case with Ryan Garcia, I do pray for his mind. But at the same time, it just ain't adding up, bro. The man first he was supposed to fight Tank, then he was supposed to fight Manny, then he fought the fight to become Devin Haney's mandatory. Then it was Fortuna. He all over the place. And then they talk about his mental health is going. Then you see him on vacation, smiling, taking selfies. What the world is going on? Oscar, I think two things going on. I think one, Oscar don't believe in Ryan Garcia the way that Ryan Garcia believe in himself, and I also think that Ryan Garcia want to do like Canelo and get away from Oscar. You know what I mean? Because right now it's clear that Oscar is not. I mean, y'all seen him on the Triller card. Now, if not, more than likely, he may have one of them Snoop Blunts, which I heard them Snoop Blunts is killer. He may have one of them Snoop Blunts that had him all on the mic sounding all off and retarded. Now, you know what? Now that we think about it, we might got to give Oscar a pass. If Oscar laid around and got one of them Snoop Blunts, because they say Snoop is famous for, faking bombers out, thinking they're getting something and they getting one of his specials. So he may have gave Oscar one of his specials. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But hey, I get it. But he may have one of them Snoop Blunts, man. He may have one of them Snoop Blunts. So we we gonna give him a pass. Maybe one of them, maybe one of them snoop blunts that night. Because all I know is this right now. He need to go sit down. He do need to go sit down. He don't need to be near nobody's boxing ring, and he may just need to just step back away from the business and let somebody else run the business for him. Because it's not a good look. It's not a good look. We constantly hear people talking about, oh, PBC is messing up boxing and PBC falling apart. But you see these other fighters. Top rank lost Teofimo Lopez. Golden Boy lost Canelo. Why they not in trouble? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So listen, I don't see nobody threatening to lead PBC. I don't see nobody going crazy. None of them have no anxiety attacks and none of that stuff. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Boxing. Listen, I've been watching this sport since I was 6 years old. Not gonna tell you how old I am, but that's a long time ago. You know, I fell in love with this sport, you know, when I was 6 years old, and I just can't leave it alone. But y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better by us. It's too much out there. It's too many fights that can be made for all of this to keep falling by the wayside. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I mean? So it's time to get back. You know what I mean? Let's go through this little couple months of this nonsense, and then the back half of the year we gotta get hot. We gotta get hot. Who is Bruce Ennis fighting next? It better be Keith Thurman. It better be Keith Thurman or another up and comer. You know what I mean? Pacquiao gonna fight Josito Lopez. Pacquiao fight Josito. I'm gonna give it to y'all. Pacquiao fight Josito Lopez. Keith Thurman fight Bruce Ennis. Roger Ortiz. I gotta get back to him. Sean need to fight Bud. Ugas can fight Earl, and then let Ortiz, because he just fought Maurice Hooker, so he can fight James Jones or something like that. Conor Ben, I need to see more. You know what I mean? I need to see more from Conor Ben. You know what I mean? I've seen his fights and all that, but like wasn't blown away by his opponent. You know what I mean? Not saying I know all young fighters fight, you know, keep busy fights or tomato cans and all that. They all fight tomato cans till they get big. But I need to see more of them. What I seen of him, he looked good, but I need to see more of him. You know what I mean? I just need to see more of Conor Ben. So far, so good. Ricky Hatton's son? No. I'm sorry. No. I mean, he fought over the weekend. Nah. Not buying it, Rick. Not buying it, Rick. You know me. I'm not buying it, Rick. Sorry. Was not blown away by his performance. You know what I mean? You know, I looked at the zone card, to be truthful. I wanted to see Katie Taylor. I wanted to see if this girl was what everybody's saying he ought to be. You know what I mean? I know I don't talk about women's boxing that much down here because it don't seem like most of the guys that tune in really interested. But I'm big on women's boxing. I watch them all. You know what I mean? So Katie Taylor, she did look good. She looked strong, and the girl that she was fighting, that Jonas girl, was, you know, she was giving it to her. Man. She was giving it, you know, she was giving her some good stuff, but what just wasn't enough. Did you notice how the was it now the WB mandatory heat league for boots? Well, the WBA is just a train wreck, to be honest. I think a lot of these sanctioning bodies, what they looking at is this. They found a way. See, this is what happens. Boxing, this is y'all fault. See, when y'all, an idle mind does crazy things. See, y'all giving these sanctioning bodies too much time on their hands. Y'all not putting the funds together, so they just making up belts. Hey, you want a belt? Come on. Hey, you over there, you want a belt? Hey, come on. Oh, they ain't fighting nobody no too. We can make anybody the mandatory because the big fights ain't happening anyway. That's what they doing. That's what they're doing. The big, you know, they can make whoever they want to be their mandatory. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, because they know nobody. To be honest with you, all they did was do that. So these guys are not fighting Boots or Ortiz no time soon. They're gonna make Boots and Ortiz go through the same process that everybody else went to. You know what I mean? They're gonna make Boots and Ennis continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. Like I said, if I'm Boots Ennis, some of those fighters that's on the outside looking in that really need to find their way back in, like a Keith Thurman, who's on the outside looking in, Hey, Keith, you want to get back in? Let's get it. Let's get it. Call Keith Thurman out. Go get them guys. Those are your tickets to leapfrog the nonsense. Because the Bruce Ennis like stops Keith Thurman, there's no denying he got to get a champion next. Jonas should have kept hitting her to the body. Katie ain't like that. You know what? I'm gonna give Katie a roses. I'm gonna give Katie a roses. Now the thing I ain't gonna lie, I got frustrated with Jonas because her freakish movement in that fight was like, what are you doing? Like I wanted her to plant. I wanted her to like stop being so herky jerky. Like you're hitting her, but you're hitting her and then jumping 50 feet back. You're hitting her and then you way over here. No, plant yourself and walk towards her. Force her, because when every time she put Katie on the ropes or every time she stood her ground, Katie had to regroup. But she kept letting Katie just come through. And I ain't gonna lie, son, Katie Taylor be letting them hands fly, shorty. She let them hands fly. From what I saw, she let them hands fly. I can't even hate. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She was too cautious. Yeah, I was just getting frustrated because I seen her movement. I seen her hands because like she was touching her back. She was touching her bam. I was like, okay, we might got something. But then, after a round or two, I'm like, why you keep bouncing? Why you so herky jerky? Stand your ground and walk this bama down. You know what I mean? Walk her down. Go get her. You know what I'm saying? But now that that's over with, I want to see Katie Taylor and Jessica McCaskill or Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. I want that Serrano fight bad. You know what I mean? But the only thing I don't like about the Serrano fight, I didn't realize Katie Taylor was that much bigger than Amanda. She's bigger than Amanda, way bigger than Amanda. But you never know. Amanda Serrano was a dog. But I want that Jessica McCaskill fight too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because the way Jessica McCaskill jumped on Cecilia Braggins in that last fight, cool get shaky, man. Cool get shaky. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm gonna give her roses though, man. She did enough to get the win. Jonas could have won the fight, but she just did. Kind of remind me of what Damon and Belonga last week. You know what I mean? Because after looking at that fight with Belonga, yes, I like both Katie. I like both, but Katie should fight Serrano and Clarissa get McCaskill. They not fighting. See, the only thing I don't like about that is they want Clarissa to come down to 147. You know what I mean? I think Clarissa has cut enough weight and came down far enough. I don't think Clarissa need to come down no more. And I think if she's ranked on all these people's platform as this is where boxing go left. See, this is where boxing go left. If Clarissa Shields is considered the best fighter in the game, even though they want it to be Katie Taylor, the world is saying it's Clarissa Shields, then McCaskill should come to her. She shouldn't have to come down to McCaskill. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be. What's the attraction? If I'm the big man on campus, big woman on campus. If I'm the big woman on campus, you need to come up here. Why I need to come down here? You know what I mean? So if they can make McCaskill go to 154, let's get it. Let's get it. But I don't want Clarissa to come down no more. You know what I mean? I don't want Clarissa to come down no more. But for real, Clarissa need to fight. I got 2 fights for her. Clarissa need to fight Raquel Miller or Savannah Marshall. We got to put that Savannah Marshall stuff to sleep. You can't go on Twitter. You can't go on no site without them bringing up Savannah Marshall and Clarissa. We got to get that over with. We got to get that out the way, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got to get that out the way. You know what I'm saying? That got to get handled. So, yeah. So if she can get McCaskill to come to 154, yes. But if not, let's go back up to 160 and go ahead and take care of Savannah Marshall. And let's get this thing cracking with Raquel Miller. It got to happen. Smoke. That's what we want out here. Smoke. We should see smoke. You know what I mean? We need to see. I think that Marshall fight coming out the MMA fight. It got to. Either her or Raquel Miller. I need that or Raquel Miller. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done messed up the possible. See, here's where they see. Now, this Carissa fault, but here's where she messed up at. And she just chilled. She may have been on one of these Triller cards fighting Layla Ali. But y'all done messed that up. Y'all messed that up. You know what I'm saying? That was the bag. That was the fight that would have put your hair. You know what I mean? That fight would have put your hair. Everybody would have hated her. Of course, everybody would have hated you. You're not gonna gain no fans, but you would have had a boatload of money and you had a whole lot of views. But nah, everybody would have hated you. Everybody was gonna be on Layla's side. I hate to be the side. They wasn't gonna ride with you on that one. But hey, a couple $1 million, millions and millions of views, you on your way. But yeah, she need to make this Marshall fight happen. You know what I mean? She need to make this Marshall fight happen. Go ahead and put that to bed. You know what I mean? So Eddie them can stop, and all the UK fans can stop dangling over there. I mean, for crying out loud, listen, y'all. It was a pre-qualified match before the Olympics. She'll kill Cecilia. Cecilia didn't want it. Now, they talk stuff to each other on Twitter, but Cecilia didn't want it. And you can see, man, that last fight with McCaskill, like because I didn't think McCaskill really won the first fight against Cecilia. I didn't. I thought it was close, but I didn't think she did enough to get it. But that second fight, oh my God, she whooped Cecilia Brackett. She whooped her that second fight. Yeah, Jessica McCaskill left, no doubt. She whooped her. You know what I'm saying? That was a whooping. Just like the girl with the one everybody liked, what's her name? The blonde bomber. She got whooped. I don't care nobody say they was all on a platform talking about the judges was wrong and the fight was way closer than that. Nah, man, that girl Courtney whooped Abine Bridges, man. She whooped her, and I was voting for the blonde bomber. She got whooped. I'm sorry, she got whooped. That girl was lighting her up. She buckled her, wobbled her a few times. I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe they got to run it back. Maybe the headbutt that caused the eye to swell up messed it up. I don't know. But I know one thing. That girl was letting her hands fly. And yeah. No shade. Please don't be mad at me, blonde bomber. Please. But you got whooped. I call a spade a spade. You got whooped. She got hands put on her. You know what I'm saying? They girl put hands on her. You know what I'm saying? So, well, y'all, it's been fun. Appreciate you, Black Star Sports TV 2.0, baby. We definitely want to talk to you more, link up with you, man, chop it up with you, man, because like I said, man, we appreciate you. But at this time, man, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man, until next week. And, I'll keep you posted on the upcoming interviews and things of that nature. But till the next one, baby, we out of here. Team Lonely Child Boxing. One.